Three, two, one. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. It's Storytime Live. It's a little bit late. My sincere apologies. It's Children's Week. It's custody week. Kids are back home and still on vacation mode, so getting them wrangled up and in bed is a challenge. Anyways, how are you guys doing tonight? Let's see. Dane is first. No Melissa? Man, where is Melissa? Something's wrong. Someone check on Melissa. Lord is number 2. Join the cause to take Ash down. I don't know what I did to Lord, but he has got a vendetta against me for some reason. Dane says he's back in the hospital again. Oh, man, Dane. I'm sorry, buddy. Sorry to hear that. I hope I'll keep praying for you. Hope you're doing better. And he says all he has to do is mock America Rivera. Oh, boy. I don't need to mock America Rivera. You just did it for me. Eric says, don't you besmirch Dane. What? I'd besmirch. He's besmirching the national treasure. You're supposed to stand up. I knew you were a phony, Eric. Trying to stand. You don't stand for America anymore. Consider them both as America's treasures, interchangeable. Oh my God, there's some sort of hybrid monster. You hear that, Ash? Interchangeable American treasures. There's only one American. I can't even say it. Never mind. Let's see. Dragon Majesty's in the house. Hey, buddy. Good to see you here. Let's see. Dane says, I like this music. Kind of Zoolander. Yeah, it's there's different kinds of names for this. I always mix them up or forget. I think it's called chip tunes. It's like the official name, or bit tunes. But I guess I should credit. This is an artist called Phantom Mech. I'll put it in. It's a weird name. I found him on Bandcamp, bandcamp.com. You can buy the music there, support independent music. So I bought all the music he had at the time. I discovered, this is pretty cool. It was like 99 cents a song, or like $5 for like all the songs. So I just made a little custom CD. So I supported it. This is like years ago. But I'm normally not a big chiptunes person, but there's been a few that I like. There's another artist that I might use called Cubby that I really like as well. Let's see. I'm listening to Lacuna Coil Spellbound, says Christopher Barker. I don't even know what that is. Dane says, it's early for you. Oh, Dane. That apology was lacking in sincerity, if you ask me. I don't think I apologized. Never apologized to SJWs, especially if they're named Eric Breen. Dane says, flesh-eating disease in my shoulder. Fun. Oh my God, Dane. You need to get well, my friend. I'll pray for you, buddy. Chris says, I cleaned my closet, Ash. I now have no DC Comics. What? What? Why did you clean all the DC Comics out of your closet? Wait. I need more elaboration on this story, Chris. Are you anti-DC now? Is that what I'm hearing? DC's like the only mainstream we have left. Can you hear the soda popping? My mic, pick it up. Drinking a little Pepsi. Rusty's in the house. Says, G'day. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but that's what it looks like he said. Dragon Majesty says, no DC Comics. Blasphemy. That's what I'm saying. Thank you for your prayers. No, thank you for being here, buddy. Prayers are natural. I don't have to thank me for that. I appreciate you showing me support. The least I could do is pray for your health. Ed Brewer says, sorry, SJW, but you're crazy. You tell him, Ed. Damn straight. I don't know if you guys were all here for the recent episodes. I know Eric was probably unconscious. He's got other streams that are more important for him. But we recently read a couple of issues of really good comics on the last 2 episodes. The first comic we read was a recommendation by Ed, and I was like, all right, cool. You're recommending is Astro City, issues 47 and 48. And man, that was a really freaking good story. I mean, I'm still feeling moved from that story. I want to thank you again, Ed. If you happen to miss those streams, I urge you go back, listen to them. Even if you don't want to hear me yip yap, you can just fast forward. That's the beauty of not listening to it live, is you can skip past all of my jibber jabber nonsense if you want. You just skip forward, and the Astro City books, it looks silly. It's got a picture. It's like a corgi superhero, and you just go, oh my god. But you can tell, when a comic is well written, when you can take a concept of a character and he crosses with a corgi, and you take that concept and it's awesome. Like, that's good writing. This is something Marvel can't do. Marvel has proven characters in their lineup, and they can't get it even to be moderately good. We're not even asking for home runs. Like, that Astro City was a home run. Like, absolutely. It made me tear up. Super good book. And it was about a freaking corgi superhero. It's like, anyways, I'm still thinking about that book. And then we also read Days of Future Past, the 2-issue series by Claremont and Byrne. That is just epic. And, I knew that series was good. I've read it multiple times throughout my life, mostly before the turn of the century is where I read it the most. And because I've read it so much, I haven't read it in 20 years. It just kind of sits in my collection. And now, thanks to digital, I can pop it out and read it digitally without having to dig through my boxes. And I mean, I knew it was good, but when you're just surrounded by modern comics, and then you go back and you read something like that, you go, oh yeah. I mean, and don't get me wrong, there is good comics today. I'm an advocate for some really good comics. You've seen me read these books here on this channel. Birthright was phenomenal. I'm a huge advocate for Ascender. Maybe I'll read that on here sometime, but there's a lot of good books. All the books on my pull list I read. Daredevil, I'm a big advocate for. Hawkman. But you go back and you read that book, and it's just like there's a level of poetry. There's the writing is just so much. I'm not eloquent enough to say what I'm trying to say. It's like on another level. I read, and then I'm going back and I'm reading Empire, this new Marvel book, and you can probably hear there's an airplane flying overhead. So if you hear that, I apologize. It just adds to the charm of this stream. I'm reading Empire, and it's just like Dan Slott and Al Ewing's writing is so just, they're lacking of vocabulary. It's so just bland and boring and just yeah. Anyways, I'm not qualified to even really say. I feel like them. I feel like I'm trying to describe what they are, and I'm at a loss for words. Or writing is a loss for words. It's just so humdrum and basic. Let's see. Ed Brewer, did you just call me an SJW? Dane, hurry up and get better so we can do a stream. What a jerk. I don't know why Eric's such a jerk to me. I've been so nice to him. Chris says, sorry, not sorry, Ash. I don't give a fuck anymore. The enjoyment is gone. I do have some Warhammer books that a friend gave me a long time ago. She's not around anymore. Well, Chris, sorry to hear that on both accounts. I don't know what to say. Hey, your feelings are your feelings. I don't want to discount them. Obviously, you have those feelings for a reason, but maybe, hopefully, I can help you. I don't know. Maybe I can encourage you to have a slightly different perspective through my channel. There is some good stuff coming out from DC. I understand your frustration. I understand your aggravation, and I understand your fed up attitude. I've had that attitude myself. You know, when I first got back into comics, it took a year before I would even touch a Marvel comic. And I'm a Marvel fanboy. I was not a DC guy. The only reason I even got into DC is because I was like, I want to get back into comics, and Marvel is shit. But there's some good stuff out there, buddy. You know, whether or not you are interested, whether or not you give a fuck, I mean, that's your life, your freedom. You live how you want to live. But I would tell you, man, Hawkman, it's good stuff. It's really good stuff. Robert Venditti is a great writer. He would have been great 30 years ago. And you know, DC is doing some shit that I'm upset about. I'll be right there raising a fist in the air, being pissed off at DC. I think, you know, by the way, I got to do a regular fuck Tom King, in case I got to keep that going and not forget about it. But I don't like to, I guess this is me personally, I don't like to blanket things, which is weird because when I describe stuff, I usually use blanket examples. But in reality, I like to judge everything on its own merit. And, you know, if 50% of DC is hogwash, you know, if it's like shit on a San Francisco street, then I'm going to bitch about it. But if the other 50% is good, I'm not going to just throw it away. But again, it's your money. So I'm not going to tell you to spend money on something that upsets you. So hopefully you can come here and have some level of enjoyment. Let's see. Chris says, Ed Brewer, like I said, I don't care anymore. Down with mainstream comics. Oh, man. That's too bad. Dane says, Eric, I have a team of about 70 people working on it. All right. Marania's here. Hey, Marania, good to see you. There are some of us who still care about mainstream comics. I'm one of them. I may be a masochist, but I believe that things will get better. Well, I am certainly not a masochist. Marania has strength that I can't even conceive of. She continues to read Iron Man. And if I was reading Iron Man, I'd probably be like Chris. But my personal solution, the way I deal with it, is I isolate stuff off, right? Like I'm an X-Men fan. That's me. Like I came into comics on X-Men. That's my one true love. It's always going to be my first love in comics. And I cannot stand what Marvel is doing right now. I think what Marvel is doing with X-Men right now is even worse than X-Men Red. I didn't think that was possible. And I gave it a shot because I want to like it. And Marvel, you know, bent me over and made me pick up the soap in the shower stall. So, no, it aggravates me. It really, really pisses me off. And so I just don't read it. I'm like, I can't stand to see the things I love portrayed in a terrible light. But Marvel's also doing things like Daredevil. And it's not fair for Daredevil. It's not fair for the creative team on Daredevil for me to be, you know, crapping on that book. They don't have anything to do with that. And, you know, with mainstream comics today is a bunch of independent contractors, right? It's a bunch of freelancers. Yeah, Marvel controls their titles and their IPs. Same with DC. But the actual output, what you're actually getting in these books, is then farmed off to independent, you know, freelance people. And so those, I truly believe that there are people who do genuinely love the comics. I genuinely believe Robert Venditti loves comics, puts his heart and soul in these books, cares about them. And I don't think it's fair for me to deny him an opportunity to win over, you know, to have a merit. You know, look, if his books suck, then screw it. I'm not going to buy your books if they suck. I'm not going to buy it just because you're, you know, legitimate comic book pro. You still have to do quality work. But I'm not going to not going to basically cut you off and say, well, I don't care how good you are because these other people did some shitty stuff. And again, I'm not trying to lecture anyone, tell you how to live your life. I'm just telling you how I live, how my perception is. We're all different, all different experiences. So hopefully there's some perspective. I listen to other people's perspective. The perspective I have has been shaped by people like you guys. So that's why I share it back. Let's see. Eric says, seriously, I hope you get better as soon as possible. Bronny says, Dane, you're still in my prayers. Everyone loves Dane. Dane's a good guy. Yeah, hopefully everything goes great. Yes, everyone, read Hawkman number 24 for another great issue, says Dragon Majesty. Yeah, 24 was really good. I just finished 25 a few days ago. Also really good. I mean, that whole series, I just love what, I just don't want it to end. That's a great feeling. This is what I love about mainstream comics. Look, man, 90% of mainstream comics can be crap. It sucks. But honestly, what I care about is the 10% that aren't. If you could just give me X-Men back like it used to be, and everything else was just dog shit, I would be a happy camper. If I could just have old school Chris Claremont X-Men being done again, new, and everything else was on fire, I don't care. If I can just get some of that magic, I'm going to be grateful for what I have. Ronnie says, sorry, Ash, I won't passionately hug Tom King. I'm happily married. Wait, what? I didn't suggest you passionately hug Tom. What? I don't know what that's all about. I said, oh, you said, oh, I get it. I'm slow. I gotcha. Wink and a nod, Ronnie. I see what you're doing. Computer Robots, Ash, I loved a review of Empire the other day. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate that. Wait. Why is there two lords? I don't understand. No, that's K. That's not Lord. That's K with the that's Arabic writing, I believe. This is my dumbass American ignorance showing through. I'm assuming that's Arabic writing. But Kay says, time to make fun of Ash. Isn't it all the time? That's what I'm here for, just to be your dancing monkey. And you guys throw fruit at. Chris says, Ash, I'm going underground. I don't hate comics as a medium. There's just way too much SJW and people complaining about it. It can only take so much. I should upgrade my Chaos comics to trades. Well, like I said, man, you got to do you. I think whether or not you agree with my perspective, hopefully you appreciate at least hearing it. For me, I like hearing all perspectives before I make decisions. Just because I like knowing that the decision I ultimately make is the most informed. So, hey, ultimately, if that's what makes you happy, you do it. Computer Ash, I love it when you tolerate. Wait, I love it when you will tolerate to review crap comics so we don't have to read them. Thanks, man. It's a chore. I deliberately read some of these books because I don't want my channel to just be like, hey, look, this is what Ash loves, and it's just like all incestuous about the books that I just get on my pull list. Like, I want to have it be like diverse, across the board. So that's why I do that. But man, some of these books really try me. Just like, Doug says, I heard the next issue they are killing off Hawkman and Hawkwoman. Quit trying to troll, Doug. Dragon Majesty says, give Spawn a try. Christopher Barker, it crossed issue 300 a few months back. Yeah, it's pretty underground, I guess, in a certain way. Spawn is only $2.99. Got a props to Todd McFarlane for not trying to gouge his readers. I'm a Todd McFarlane fan. I tried to get back into Spawn around 300. I followed that whole thing, like the road to 300, and then bought 300 and 301. And it was fun being a part of the whole celebration. And, because I was there on day one when Spawn #1 launched. So to be able to be here now in 300, I was like, yeah, it's cool. And I like root for Todd's success. Spawn's just not for me. I just found through reading that, I was like, you know what? I'm glad other people like this. It's not for me. But it might be for you. And I really do, like I said, I love that Todd's only charging $2.99 for his book. So yeah, there you go. It's not mainstream. Okay. Ryuk says, I would prefer to call you a clown or a court gesture. Are you just trying to make me feel better or what, man? That's pretty terrible. Let's see. Kay says, it okay, Ash. I don't know how Japanese and Chinese are different. All right. Well, at least I can tell the difference between Chinese and Japanese. So I guess I have one up on you there. So I don't feel totally stupid. Supposed to go in and drain me again tomorrow. Third time. Massive antibiotics. Good Lord, Dane. I hope that you turn the tide and you're just getting all sorts of unlucky stuff coming down. Ronnie says, am I the only member of the Ash fan club? If there is one, Rania, then I would say yes. It's probably probably true. You probably are the only one. Okay, so let's get into some comics today. I didn't leave the starting soon screen on. Are you proud of me? We got Comixology on there. So I picked up a couple new books. I just remembered, I forgot to buy these. So we got Batman Adventures Continue 8 and 9 have come out since I read them. So we're going to finish the purchase. Look at that. Buying comics live. Kay says, if a video is longer than 10 minutes, I doze off. We are the Ash Anti-Fan Club. Oh, okay. Well, the purpose of the stream is to help you go to sleep, so I guess I'm winning there. So I got some Batman. And let's read some Batman before Kay falls asleep out of boredom. The cool thing about these books is they're formatted for digital. This is Batman, The Adventures Continue, issue number 8. The Darker Knight, part 2. Oh, shit, I forgot what happened in the last episode, or the last issue. It's been a little while. Oh, well. First week on the job, and I'm icing Batman and this loser. Looks like I got a bonus coming, Mr. C. Just finish them, Wing. Sword of Salvation. Ugh. They kick him in the gut. Can't tell me you didn't skip Vespers now and then to learn that move. You take the Birdman. Cobblepot is mine. I wouldn't spend that bonus money just yet, Mr. Wing. Penguin is notoriously cheap, and he doesn't reward failure. Arrgh! Though, maybe he'll kick in for your medical bills. Crash. Did Penguin name his client? Yes, he was most cooperative. Though, of course, since he's Catwoman's employer, the order demands he must suffer in her place. No! Boom. You're slipping, old man. Letting someone else... Oops, that's not Batman's song. You're slipping, old man. Letting someone else pull the vanishing act on you? Azrael. Better pull your head out of your cape. I want you to see what's coming. Penguin's still in intensive care, Alfred. By the time he can tell me anything, Azrael may have left dozens of bodies scattered across Gotham. On that rather morbid note, sir, the Bat computer just picked up an alert transmitted over GCPD frequency. It concerns a grave robbing that might interest you. When the Penguin blurted out his client's address, I thought he was joking. I don't like jokes. Then he gasped out the client's name and it all made sense. I suppose I owe him some teeth for that. The shawl, clearly my quarry knew of its power, but ignored its limitations. Whoosh. I'll be taking that back. I should have known. If anyone in Gotham craved the healing powers of the shawl, of Magdalene, it would be Mr. Freeze. I understand your grief, friend. I doubt that. I know you helped create the treatment that revived her, only to watch from afar as her body later rejected the cure. Truly the angels weep for you both, Victor. I don't need tears, holy man, just the shawl. It won't work on the dead. It will. It must. I won't lose her again. Mr. Freeze once used this abandoned ice rink to store his equipment. It's a logical place to begin my search, especially when I learned that from the corpse taken from the grave was that of his wife, Nora Freeze. The rumored powers of the shawl offer a tempting hope to a man desperate to revive his dead wife. That makes Freeze more than willing to destroy anyone who gets in his way. And apparently has. Your friend has perhaps 60 seconds left, Batman. If his pupils aren't completely frozen, he still might be able to see this. Whoosh. Desperation has driven him insane. Only way to reach him. Honk. And I hate to do it. No. Nora! I've got you. Rest, my love. He'll pay for this. You dare harm her? I'm sorry, Victor. I can't let him die because you won't accept the truth. Nora is gone. Neither science nor faith will change that. Now let me help you. I needs nothing from you. Yes, you do. Chink. Ah! This will keep Victor breathing until the cops arrive. Sonic pulses are cracking the ice like the glass of Victor's helmet. But will that be enough to save Jean-Paul? Barely a pulse. He'd need a miracle. Jean-Paul was right. I always skipped the church part. Right now, I could use a more eloquent prayer than "Here goes nothing." A candle to honor the dead? And one for the recovery of the man who loved her. You surprise me, Bruce. There is great compassion beneath the grim facade you've adopted. One might almost call it saintly. I wouldn't. I owe my life to you, and to the shawl, of course. I think your own resilience played the larger part in that. But if that brings you comfort, so be it. Next time, old friend, I won't be so impulsive. My word on it. There's going to be a next time. If you need me, I'll let you know. And thank you. That's a cool shot. I like the shadows here. It hasn't always been easy for me to work with allies. Bitter experience has taught me to appreciate them while you can. We never know what's coming next. Heh. Next, showdown at Amusement Mile. Another good book. Another good book. I like these Batman Adventures Continue books. They do really remind me of the animated series, which of course is what it's supposed to. It's what's taken off. I think this is a little bit of spoiler right here. It's like, do you think that's Red Hood that's watching? But yeah, it's just good how do I say, just basic storytelling. It's not trying to be, it's like the opposite of what Tom King tries to do and just be like all super deep and metaphysical and all this stuff and just super artsy and pretentious. It's like Paul Dini just is like basic Batman. Just what is the essence of Batman? Let's tell a basic story. And it just comes off so much better. Let's see. So this is chapter 9. We'll get to that another time. Let's see. Dane says, we'll be changing the way I do dialysis too. We will get it done. That's the spirit. All right, Ryuk says, so what's on the docket besides Batman the Adventures Continue? Well, it's funny you should ask. It's in the description of the video. I will say, Ash, that I didn't get rid of my Batman comics. A friend of mine convinced me to keep those. Oh, Christopher, the truth comes out. All right, hey man, I'm not judging. I was one encouraging you to keep your DC stuff. But I'm glad that there's still some remnants of hope in you. And anyways, like I said, you do you. Hopefully, I just want you to have enjoyment. I just want you to have joy in your life. That's all. Hello, Rick says, computer robots. I like the art in these. They feel like the animated series on the page. Well, that's what it's supposed to look like, Maranya. Yeah, these books are essentially the sequel to the Batman animated series, but just done in comic form because Warner Brothers is stupid, apparently. It doesn't like money, and they want to just make shows that no one wants instead of making shows that people do want. I don't know. I guess we live in a world where Teen Titans Go is more desirable than Batman the Animated Series Part 2, but what do I know? I'm just a comic fan. Oh man, how do I get back to my books? Help me, Comixology. You guys aren't very talkative recently in these days. Do I need to read some Golden Age Superman? What time is it? Yeah, it's not even 11 o'clock yet. Eric has already gone to sleep, apparently. All right. So tonight on the docket is Chrononauts. Or Chrononauts. Or however you want to pronounce it. This is by Mark Millar. Yes, I know it's pronounced Mark Miller, but there's a lot of Millers in comics. So I'd say Mark Millar. I purposely mispronounce it. And this is Sean Gordon Murphy. Back when Sean still actually drew comics for other people's writing. I have not read this book before. It's been kind of just sitting in my library. I picked it up a while back because I love the writer. I love the artist. And hey, it's a 4-issue miniseries. I believe it's 4-issue miniseries. Let's see issue info here. Yeah, Chrononauts 1 through 4. Corbin Quinn and Danny Riley are time travelers whose plans go off course, leading to the wild adventures in the time stream. Collects Chrononauts 1 through 4. So I've never read anything by Mark Millar that I didn't like, especially his own creations when it comes, like his image stuff. Some of it's better than others. His earlier stuff tended to be a little bit more inspired than some of his later stuff, but even his later stuff, like Prodigy, was fun. I look forward to, I think Prodigy would be a great movie. His books are very much written like that, to be sort of like, hey, adapt this into a movie, you know. But they're quality. They're not done like a lot of these other crappy books where people are like, oh God, I hope I get a Netflix deal, and they just suck. Like Mark Millar's like, I hope I get a movie because I'm a good writer, and this should be. Anyways, I haven't read this before. I have no idea if it's going to be good. So you're going to get a live reaction. And Dragon Man, she says, yes, read some Golden Age soups. Oh, should I? Does anyone else second that? Ronnie says, this sounds like a comic book retelling of the old TV series Time Tunnel. I'm not familiar with that series, Marania, so you can tell me if that holds true when we actually read it. Ed says, I only heard of this. I never read any of these. So I'm crossing my fingers. Like I said, Millar is one of those writers that I'm confident in anything that I pick up of his. It's going to be good. It's going to be at the very least solid. Whether it's a home run, I don't know, but it's going to probably be a double. That was a baseball reference for Eric. Lord says, no. Lord doesn't like Golden Age. He doesn't like soups. Eric Breen says, I'd wake up for that. What, for Superman? Uh-oh. Did we get a second for Superman? Man, I've been having fun with this Superman. The Golden Age Superman has been a blast. It's one of those titles that is, it's more fun when you read it out loud than it is to sit down and just read it. It's kind of like America Chavez in that way. When I sit and read America with you guys, it's so much more fun than just sitting by yourself and reading it. Dragon says, that's a second by Breen. All right. So this is Superman #1. I haven't been reading the whole book. I've been reading just parts of it because it's like a bunch of little stories. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can see from the progress bar, I'm already mostly through this. So I'm not going to read a ton of it, but it's fun to have some old classic Superman stories. Superman by Jerome Siegel and Joe Shuster. Exhilarated by the demon's speed, a drunken, irresponsible driver races faster, faster still. Abruptly, a shrill shriek, a sharp impact. He has struck a pedestrian. Frightened beyond reasoning, the motorist presses his car to greater speed and flees in terror from the scene of his crime. A crowd swiftly gathers about the hit-skip victim. He's in agony. Get an ambulance. High overhead, a figure which had witnessed the tragedy springs into action. It is Superman, champion of the weak and helpless. His great leap brings him down beside a railroad track, almost plunging him into the side of a hurtling train. Far ahead on the track, in the train's path, the hit-skip car has stalled. Mighty convenient. 2 panels of complete contrived, like Superman's, oh shit, I almost ran into a train, and then the guy's running away, his car just stops on the tracks. Within the engine car. Now's me chance to sneak a little nip while his back is turned. Glancing outward, the engineer doubts his senses as he sees a figure not only racing the train, what? But passing it. Mike, a man racing us, running faster than the train. I saw it with my own eyes. Drinking again, eh? Superman beats the train to the stalled auto. We've got to jump. Let go. You fool. You'll kill us both. Whew. Just made it. But this fellow has died of a heart attack. Oh, they just do not write comics like they used to. Oh my goodness. Eric says, I read America #5 the other day. The rain stopped, the sun came out, and the flowers bloomed. And of course, doing so cursed all of Kentucky. And now the governor is, your governor's like locking down the whole state. Quit reading that stuff, Eric. Ronnie says, now does Superman save the guy or let him die? Don't talk about that cursed comic. It's almost as cursed as Ash. Dragon says, that's so awesome. Heart attack. Seizing the edge of a window, Superman swings downward. Wait a second. Wait, what's going on? So the train crashes his car. He leaps free. The guy's died of a heart attack. The very next panel is Superman grabbing a window into a private room in the Pullman car. Uh-oh, someone's entering. We can talk here without being overheard. Why has the train been stopped? It hit an auto. If I don't win this game against Cordell University, it means I lose my position as coach at Dale. I'm determined to win at any cost. In that case, we're the men for you, Coach Randall. You'll find our services expensive, but effective. Are we hired to play on the Dale football team? You're in. But remember, I want you to get Stevens, Burns, and Lewiston, our foe's best players, right at the game's beginning. Leave it to us. Rough stuff is our specialty, Coach. After the 3 depart. A crooked coach hiring professional thugs to play football. Sounds like just the sort of setup I like to tear down. Next day. Wait a second. Next day? Rewind a second. This guy died of a heart attack, and Superman's like, all right, that's enough. He just leaves the dude. He just dives into a train, and then immediately he stumbles across the corrupt coach hiring a bunch of Goombas to sabotage the football game. What? Oh my God. Gabby Rivera could not write this. Next day, Clark Kent, newspaper reporter, examines photo clippings of Cordell's football material. Here's a youth named Tommy Burke, whose general build I resemble. Tommy it'll be. Within the privacy of his apartment, Clark dons some makeup, grease paint. Splendid! Now his own mother wouldn't know us apart. That evening, Tommy Burke receives an ultimatum from his girlfriend, Mary. How come all these women all look like Lois Lane? I totally... You mean you don't want to go to the movies with me? Now or ever? I'm ashamed of you, Tommy Burke. You told me you'd be a football hero, but in the 6 or 7 years you've been a substitute. You've never gotten even into one game. Wow, what a bitch. Jesus. I suppose you'll be looking for a new boyfriend now. Wrong. I've already got one. Wallace Dodd, the tennis champion. He's a real athlete. Later, as Burke despondently walks homeward, he's totally unaware that he's being trailed. I'll show her. I'll make the team. I'll be famous. And then I won't even look at her. Don't move. What is this? A holdup? Good Lord, you're me. You're mistaken. You're not looking at Tommy Burke, substitute, but at Tommy Burke, the greatest football player of all time. Burke lurches forward to attack. Instantly, he feels the sting of a hypodermic needle. He loses conscious. Jesus, what's Superman doing? He shoots him up with something? Burke regains consciousness to discover himself a prisoner of his own apartment. What have you done to me? I can't move. You needn't worry. You're just rendered passive by a drug. What's the big idea? Merely this. I'm going to take your place in life for a few days. So long for now. Disguised as Burke, Superman reports to the locker room of Cordell University, preparatory to football practice. Well, here goes. Wonder if I'll get away with it. Hello, boys. Well, if it ain't Tommy Burke, champion benchwarmer of the century. Get into your uniform, Burke. I want to see what a real football player looks like. I don't know if in which locker Burke keeps his stuff. I'll just choose one at random. This one'll do. Say, what the blazes are you doing in my locker? Sorry, my mistake. I'll give you something to be really sorry about. Don't stand there grinning, put up your hands and fight. But it's more fun to simply watch. Superman is such a pun. Golly, can Burke take it? Martin is giving him everything he has, but it doesn't seem to bother Burke much. Though Superman is unaffected by Ray Martin's frenzied blows, he decides to end the one-sided battle. He taps Martin lightly. Crash! Go away, you bother me. Martin flies headlong across the locker room. He's out. Cold. Cordell's coach, Oliver Stanley, rushes into the locker room. Why all the noise? What's going on in here? Martin? Unconscious. Who did this? I'm afraid I did, sir. So you've turned troublemaker, eh, Burke? Well, take off that uniform and clear out of here. You're through here. Beat it. The football players charge onto the field and commence a practice game. Gosh, Coach, things don't seem the same without Burke on the bench. I don't know what got into him. He's always meek as a lamb, but today... Within the locker room. Fine progress, I must say. First I get in a fight, then get kicked off the bench. What a dirty trick to pull on Burke. Orders or no orders, I'm going out on that field to show Coach Stanley a thing or two. Look, there's Burke. He's coming out on the field. Uh-oh, wait till Coach sees him. Downward soars a football toward an open space in the field. Abruptly, a figure dashes out and snags it. Burke! I thought I told that... Grab that man. Give him the bum's rush. Throw him out the field. Throw him out the field on his ear? That didn't even make sense. Starting from a goalpost, Superman leisurely trots forward as every player in the field converges upon him. Come on, the more the merrier. This is going to be good. The sap is running for his goal. With everyone on the field trying to stop him, there goes Martin. This is for poking into my locker. And this is for busting me on the jaw. He got by Martin. Just an accident. He'll have to be an acrobat to get past them. Superman leaps to the shoulder of one of the three oncoming players and springs over the other two. Alazoop? There's your acrobat. He's halfway down the field. I believe he's going to make it. Just fool's luck so far. Wait till he meets our unbeatables, Stevens, Burns, and Lewiston. The entire remaining team piles onto Superman. They've got him! But the coach is fooled, for Superman continues to dash down the field with the entire team hanging on to him. Just before Superman reaches the goalpost, he shakes off the players, then crosses the line. And that is that. Touchdown! Dragon Magic says, what about the dead guy? Ronnie's like, Superman just left him there. This is an all-time classic. Lord says, Golden Age Superman is not like the Superman we know. Eric says, leave us not forget that while Superman was leaving dead bodies, Batman was shooting people. Oh, man. Ed Brewer says, she is not shallow at all. Ed says, Superman, don't play. Nalo's in the house. Hey, y'all. What's up, Nalo? Good to see you. Oh, my God. It's heroin in the syringe. Superman roofied a guy. He once lynched someone. Ed says, the kind of hero the kids look up to. Burke, have you been holding out on me? What's come over Burke? Boy, what a run. And to think I let this guy sit on the bench for 6 entire seasons. Bet he can be in our last game, the one against Dale, which will decide the championship. This, the sports editor of the news? Listen, I have a player named Tommy Burke who's a marvel, a sensation. What do you think of that? This is how this works. You just call up the newspaper and say, look, I got a superstar. Write a story. Burke? Don't make me laugh. It's no secret he's the joke of the Cordell team. What is this? A gag? In Burke's apartment. What's so funny? This article about you. Satirical, but still good publicity. At Dale University, this article plays up Burke as a clown, but just the same, I think it would be a good idea if Cordell's star player disappeared. Until the game was over, eh, boss? We get you. During the following days, the Cordell team practiced steadily for the big game. I still don't get it. How in the world can a player become so good overnight? If you knew, you'd be the greatest coach in the world. Tomorrow's the game with Dale. Now remember, early to bed, no smoking, no drinking. Pleasant dreams. That evening, Burke is asleep in that apartment. You know what to do. Later, he's completely tied. Strange, he didn't struggle at all. The two thugs are unaware Burke is under the influence of a sleep-inducing drug, or that Superman is observing them from the molding overhead. It's like Superman is like Spider-Man now. He's clinging to the crown molding. When the kidnappers drive off, Superman races in pursuit, easily keeping their auto in sight. Burke is brought into a deserted house. Where am I? Where you won't be able to get in tomorrow's game. But you don't want me. I'm just a substitute, and besides, are you Tommy Burke? Yes, but it isn't me who... That's all we want to know. This gag will quiet you down. Superman, who has been observing the scene through a window, grins. Fine. They've taken him off my hands, and they mean him no physical harm. Next morning, huge throngs crowd into the stadium, little realizing they are about to witness the most amazing football game of all time. Coach Randall, dropping in on Coach Stanley to gloat over Burke's disappearance, receives an unexpected surprise. Randall, meet the boy who's going to take the game away from you. Tommy Burke. Burke? But I thought When Superman and Randall are alone, I know all the dirty work you've been pulling. If you don't kick those thugs off the Dale team and resign your position as coach, I'll expose you after the game. I don't know what you're talking about. Later, in the Dale locker room, you fumbling idiots! Burke's escaped. Now he's going to expose us all in the game's conclusion. Oh, no, he won't. The knife, eh? Spectators cheer as opposing teams dash onto the field. There he is. When I give the signal, the knife. The starting gun barks. Wait, the starting gun? Did they start football games with a gun? Dale kicks off. Superman receives and is off like a shot. Back in the deserted house, Burke has struggled free of his bonds. He darts into the street. Taxi! To the football field! And step on it! Down the field streaks Superman, bowling opposition aside like 9 pins, and scores a touchdown. The crowd goes wild. Superman accepts the next kickoff and races for another touchdown. It's incredible. I've actually seen the same man score 2 touchdowns in the space of a few seconds. But Superman's teammates are far from delighted. Who does he think he is? The whole team? When do we do something? When Ray Martin secures the next kickoff, Superman clears the way for him. Another touchdown! Bah! With his running interference, a 2-year-old child could have carried the ball over the goal. Denied admittance at the player's gate, the real Burke enters the bleachers, and with astonishment, views a counterpart of himself on the field, scoring goal after goal. He can't get away with this. I'll call a cop. But at that instant, he hears his ex-girlfriend's voice. I wish you'd pay more attention to me. You may be a tennis champ, but compared to my Tommy, you're a lily. Realizing that he is now idolized by the crowd, Tommy catches their enthusiasm. Come on, Burke! Hit that line! Tear him to pieces! On the field, as a pocket knife snaps upon Superman's tough skin, he attends to his attackers. Here, take this note. My resignation to Dale University's president. At the end of the half, Superman meets Burke outside the locker room. Quick! We've got to exchange clothes. I get it. I'm to carry on now. As the second half commences, the ball bounces near Burke. He chases it about awkwardly, desperately. When he finally snags it, every player on the field piles onto him. Later, when he regains consciousness, Tommy, you were wonderful, splendid, but you must promise you'll give up football. It's too brutal. Give up football? You don't know what you ask, but for you, I'll do it. And how? The end. Acquiring super strength. Warning, when exercising, it's always well to remember that overstrain is dangerous. Be moderate in your exertions. You may find lifting a heavy armchair a difficult task. However, if you lift smaller weights regularly and gradually increase the weight of these objects, you'll soon find lifting a mere armchair a cinch. Now, all right, I guess now we know how to get super strength. Oh, man. Eric says, Dames is grief. Marani says, this is wish fulfillment on the creator's part, for real. Superman is condoning kidnapping? Dane says, Chrononauts is hilarious. All right, cool. Got a, what do you call it? I don't even know I forget the word. Dragon says, they kicked off to Superman's team twice in a row. No position on the other side. Ed says, I guess it's okay to change your favorite characters as long as you agree with the changes. I'm glad Superman changed from this imaging. Eric says, I'd still take this over Bendis. I would too. So would I. Well, at least this makes me laugh and have fun. Bendis just makes me want to drive my head into a wall. Dragon Majesty agrees, says this comedy alone beats Bendis. Superman, he just roofies the guy. It takes over. I think the whole thing is ironic too, because all that Superman did was the same thing that the corrupt coach did. Like, he hired these goons to like fix the game, and then Superman goes and fixes it on the other side. But it's okay when Superman does it. Oh, it was a different world back then. Oh, what's this? Is there like a prose? Do they write prose stories in Superman? Look at this. Huh. Well, I very much like this. What a classic. What a classic. It's good to go back and, you know, read where comics came from, so you can kind of get an appreciation of where they are now. But let's get into the main event. Man, that was only a small part of that book, 64-page book. And think how much enjoyment comics used to bring. You could sit down all day as a kid and read these books. You know, just one book. Let's see. Tehillim says, along with this Wonder Comic stuff, I was talking about Bendis. Yeah. You know, I thought Tommy's ex-girlfriend maybe a monkey brancher? I don't know what that means. I always forget they made Wonder Comics just for Bendis. Never forget. Tomasi Superman wants you to enjoy life. Yes, he does. Okay, so apparently there's the alternate cover, because of course that's the way you do comics these days. I didn't realize Sean Gordon Murphy was a co-creator of Chrononauts. Interesting. Are you guys ready for some comics? This is the final comic of the night. Over tonight and the next 3 following episodes, we'll be doing this book. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope I enjoy it. Southeast Turkey. How old did you say this was? The temple. It predates Stonehenge by 6,000 years. The oldest place of worship anywhere on the planet. But that's not the interesting part. It's what the megaliths have been built around that's causing all the excitement. You have to remember, this predates metal tools, Dr. Quinn. This was before man even had pottery. No one draws vehicles like Sean Gordon Murphy. I told you it was worth the trip. And just like that, in 2 pages, Mark Millar hooks you into a story. Texas. Any idea where this one came from? Well, the paint was gone, so it's hard to be sure, but they're saying it might be that F-14 Tomcat that went missing. Back in the 70s? Yup. You never worry these all might be hoaxes? Nope. 1,000-year-old motorbikes, 500-year-old speedboats, that fleet of sports cars they found beneath the Mayan temples. All these artifacts displaced in time just gives me hope we're on the right track. You're really building a time machine in this place. Actually, it's more of a satellite at this stage. Mark Twain 1. Bending through the time stream, exiting tunnel and re-entering 3 dimensions. Do we have a location yet? 150 miles over Gettysburg, Doctor. 1863 AD. I'm not really sure we can put this into context. Older viewers might remember the Russians blasting Sputnik into orbit, or maybe man's first steps on the moon, but I'm going to be bold and say that all pales into significance next to what we're seeing now. These images from NASA's Temporal Observation Program are being transmitted back from the Civil War. History is unfolding right before our eyes. Clear color footage of America's ancestors preparing for battle like they're all still alive. My God. Where's the satellite scheduled to come down, Dr. Quinn? We estimate it should hit the Pacific on November 1st, 1901. We've got a team of divers in the region searching for the remains. Glad you joined the team, Dr. Riley. Dude, you're a rock star. First manned mission in 18 months. How can you boycott this, Rachel? This is history happening right in front of us. Not interested. Texas, 18 months later. David O'Grady, New York Times. Can you tell us what your time machine is going to look like, Dr. Quinn? Absolutely. As you can see from the prototypes, the temporal vehicles I've been building were just bulky and impractical. That's funny. Look at one of the prototypes here. The little Easter egg. And 2 Easter eggs. If you recognize what this one is, I don't know if you can see the mouse. If we're traveling back to film Columbus, we need to be discreet, which is why I wanted Danny on the team. My specialty at MIT was making things smaller, so I took the basics of Corbin's blueprints and worked them into something skin-tight and sexy. We call these things our Chronos suits. And they're not only let us move around in time, they'll allow us to carry things with us, too. Wait, so you can travel through time right now? No, the batteries get charged at our facility in Nevada. They last 100 years once we've been through the facilitator, but then we could take this entire room if we wanted. Cindy Porter, CNN. Does this trip to the past pose a threat to the present? Is there no way you could make a mistake and endanger the world for everyone back here? Corbin Quinn doesn't really do mistakes, Miss Porter. Nevada, launch day. Just take a second and appreciate how much detail Sean puts into his pages here. Just all the different the pipes and the wiring and the multi-level, like it's just gorgeous. To Corbin, may all the dreams come true. Love, Dad. Don't you have something more important you should be doing right now? I'm calling to apologize, Rachel. It wasn't until I was standing there getting ready for the jump that I realized just how much I'd sacrificed for all this. You were a good wife, and you deserved a better husband. I should have been more attentive, like I should have seen my dad more often. Are you worried something's going to go wrong in there? No. I'm just aware that it's the biggest day of my life and there's nobody left to say goodbye to. The curse of the overachiever, huh? How could you leave me for that sleazy lawyer? He made time for me, Corbin. Time jump in T-5, Dr. Riley. He's just a total womanizer. He's the CNN girl. Promise me you'll be careful? Come on, Cindy, what's the worst that could happen? I swear to God I'm gonna marry that girl when I get back. You've known her precisely 5 days. I didn't say it was gonna last. Don't worry about the Rachel thing, man. When we get back from this trip, you'll be the biggest thing on the college lecture circuit. You'll be banging every co-ed from here to Timbuktu. You realize this is all being recorded and broadcast around the world, right? Obviously. Finger guns. So horrified nuns. Chrono suits set 4/14/92. Gentlemen, Christopher Columbus landing anytime around now. Suit cameras are live. See you on the other side, bro. Right. Shit. Quinn's been hit by some kind of wave and knocked off course. His line went down in 1986. We can't get through on any of the comm links. What? My God. What the? What the? I need to go after him. Are you out of your mind? Get out of my way. That's my friend in there. Stop him. Time jump is suspended, Dr. Riley. This is a disaster. According to his tracer, he's in the Samarkand in 1504. Every second he's back there, he's a danger to the present day. So bring him home. It's not that simple, Doctor. The more we send, the greater the risk. Whoever goes back needs to go alone. I'm more than game. You can't have a gun. We can't even risk a vehicle, and there's no way of telling how hostile the locals are going to be. I don't care. My friend is in trouble, and I want him back. Corbin's safety is the only thing that matters. There's no denying he's by far the best qualified. Flipping him dude off. Oh, I love this. Mark Millar knows how to write with attitude. And Sean's art just totally complements it. Okay, fire it up. Again, look at the detail. Think about like a modern comic book. Most modern comics, they would just show this little, what's on the screen. But Sean pulls the camera back. He's showing all the people standing around. This is very cinematic. But most of all, take a look when you really stare at this panel. Off on the left, there's the ex-wife. It's just, there's no dialogue. There's no narrative. This is all visual. This is show, not tell. This is great storytelling. I'll stay in touch through the 4D link, but I don't anticipate any complications. As soon as I find him, I'll bring him straight back. We won't be hanging around. Samarkand, 1504. Here goes nothing. What the hell? Oh, that's gotta hurt. Ah! Oh, man. Look at this wicked double page spread. Again, so many shortcuts would be used in today. Fantastic. Shit. And that is the end of chapter 1. Damn, that was fun. I mean, it wasn't like earth-shattering, blow my mind type of comic book, but it was just, it's what Mark Millar, this is the thing that I love about Mark Millar's books. Rarely of anything I've read of his blown me away. But they're sort of like an exercise in efficiency. His books are almost like too efficient. Like the story moves almost too fast. That would be one of the only criticisms I have. But I thought about this when I was reading Prodigy last year, I think it was, and I was doing a review for the channel. And this is why I say like it feels like these should be movies and stuff, because it just moves on a really good clip. And when you're used to a lot of the decompressed storytelling of today's comics like Bendis and King and so many others, what we just read in this one issue would be like a 6 or 8 issue miniseries just of what just happened now. But Millar puts it all into one issue and has so much happen. Like I said, if you wanted to be critical, I can almost say like, hey, Mark, you could have spaced this. You could have like stretched this a little bit into maybe 2 issues, because it feels, it's the opposite of decompressed. It's like compressed. But it's just fun. Like seriously, this is like, when I pick up a comic book, I want to feel like a smile on my face, and like I really enjoyed it. And Sean Gordon Murphy's one of my personal favorite modern artists. I love vehicles, and he draws cars and other vehicles just amazing. And then, like I said, he takes the time to throw so much detail into his work. So I'm super, super happy with this so far. What do you guys think? Let's get into the chat. Dun, 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 dun. I gotta scroll up. Let's see. Ed says, use your back to pick up the armchair. Computer robots. Wow, Tommy's ex-girlfriend is something like a bitch. First she wants him to play football by putting him, and now she wants him to quit football after he wins the game. Yeah, that's funny. Let's see. Let's get down into the stuff. Computer robots. A monkey brancher is when a woman dates from one man to the next man. Oh, yeah, that's kind of like this philosophy that I have. That I say that women are like monkeys. They cling to the vine. They always cling to the vine they're on until they have a firm grasp of the next vine. Yeah, my ex disagreed with that until she got a firm grip of the next vine. Let's see. Marania says time tunnel plus Stargate. Computer robots. And monkey branching goes for guys as well, where they date from one woman to the next. Okay. I never heard that term before. Nola says the dark-haired character looks like a young Clint Eastwood. Yeah, he kind of does. Ronnie says reference to Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's Court. Nice. Ed says you'll be reading all of these. That was a close one. Ronnie says DeLorean, Stargate, Atlantis chair. No, the DeLorean, yes, you got that. The other one was from Time Machine. H.G. Wells, The Time Machine. They made that into, well, it's made into two movies. There's the original movie. I think it was made in the 60s. That's the one you want to watch. That's a good one. And then there was one that was made in the 2000s with Guy Pearce, and that one's kind of meh. But I recommend reading the book. The H.G. Wells' Time Machine is fantastic. But that's that chair. That's the chair from the first movie that they did. It's a classic movie. Nola says, this book is great. I agree. Marania says, the priest is doing the finger guns. Wait a second. Did I miss that? Hold on here. Got to turn off guided view. Did I miss the priest doing finger guns? I think. Get to look at this beautiful. Look at this page right here. Look at this. Look at all the detail. Next time you're reading a modern comic book, think about the detail. I mean, from the first panel, a dude on a couch with his wife or girlfriend or whatever, with the dog, rolling over on his back. This is a person who's like studied life and understand, like, there's so much into this panel. Then the next panel, the middle one, look at this crowd he draws. It's just, and then the bottom panel with, I don't even know this character, the hotshot character just coming up on stage and just the attitude. You get a sense of this character's personality just in the drawing. Did I go too far back? I don't think I did. I think I went too far back. Where's the finger guns? I got overzealous. Oh yeah, there's the finger guns. Obviously. Boom. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, the priest is doing finger guns. The nuns are horrified. Oh, thank you, Rania. Great catch. Oh, awesome. I gotta get back to the... went too far. Spoilers. Meep. All right. 2. Let's exit this. You guys have been great. This was a fun night. This was better than the average night. So thank you for that. Let's go ahead and put on the stream ending soon, and let's wrap up the chats and have a little chit chat. So it says, Eric says, excuse me? Consent? He's canceled. I'm not sure. Oh, you must be talking about when he's kissing the CNN girl. Oh, that wouldn't happen today. But Mark Millar, actually, Mark would write that. Like, Mark, his comics, I was a little bit worried because I hadn't read this. I didn't know what the content was going to be like. But with Mark, his stuff tends to be a little bit lewd at times. He has like that sick kind of demented sense of humor, and he likes to write some pretty lewd shit. You can see that in The Kingsman or Kick-Ass. Some of the stuff you're just like, yo. But so this one hasn't been that bad so far. There's been a couple of funny, sassy references with the finger guns and stuff. But yeah, Mark is not a PC guy. It's refreshing to read his stuff, especially in today's day and age. The premise of Time Tunnel had the travelers go through historical events, and they couldn't get them back. They just bounced from event to event. Huh. Never heard of Time Tunnel, so that's cool. Ed says, it isn't bad. I want to see how it plays out. Dragon says, this is good, and I agree with Dragon. Eric says, the art is okay. Not as good as modern Marvel comics, but not bad. Ryuk says, Millar Magic Order was another series I enjoyed thoroughly. Definitely worth a shit. What? Definitely? Oh, a shot, not a shit. Worth a shit makes me feel like this is worth reading while you're taking a dump on the toilet and you got nothing better to do. It's worth a shit. I think I'm going to use that in my reviews. Is this comic worth a shit? Or would you rather just not even read anything while you're taking a shit? That might be too crude, but whatever. Ronnie says, the two best Time Machine movies are the ones from the 1960s and Time After Time. Isn't Time After Time the one with Christopher Reeves? If it's the Christopher Reeves movie, then I would have to disagree. And besides, Marania, how can you say the two best Time Machine movies and not include Back to the Future as one of them? Like, I'm ashamed of you. Come on, Marania. Come on. Two best Time Machine movies, Back to the Future and Terminator. Ronnie says, did they have one of the TV broadcasts at a strip club? So there was looted. Oh yeah, I guess so. He did have a strip club part. I think the broadcasts it was kind of meant to portray like everyone on the planet was watching this. It was kind of like, the moon landing in the 60s, like just the world was captivated. That's the equivalent of that. But you're right. Like they could have done the same thing without using a strip club. So, hey, you gotta have a little TNA in your comic. Eric says that's Somewhere in Time with Jane Seymour. Oh, okay. I'm not familiar. I don't remember what time. Was it Time After Time? I don't remember that one at all. Oh, Time After Time has Wells going after Jack the Ripper. Oh, I don't think I've seen it, but I've heard of that. Comic Quirks with Jimmy is in the house, showing up at the very end. Let's see. Marania says, I'm going by strictly Wells' Time Machine. Oh, okay. Well, but does Time After Time really count? Because that's not a Wells. That's someone else writing a story about a fictional H.G. Wells. Whatever, it's fun. I haven't seen it myself though. But the original Time Machine movie is better than the newer Time Machine movie. Although the newer Time Machine movie has much better effects, and I do like Guy Pearce a lot. But they really hack up the story like too much. I mean, even the original movie, pieced up the book too much. Like, you should read the book. Everyone should read the book. Forgive Ashmarani. Time After Time is a Cyndi Lauper song to him. You're not wrong. Time after time. Oh my gosh, you're not wrong. Oh man, Kay's back. He says, "Damn, I doze off." I just think that Kay doesn't like good entertainment and good comics, so he falls asleep during them. But hey, the point of this stream is to lull you to sleep so you can have sweet dreams. And I guess on that mark, I'm doing a service for Kay. Computer Robot says bye. Dragon says, I like that song. It's not a bad song. But I think this is a good cue to wrap things up and end the stream here. Look, we got 16 concurrent viewers right now. That's a record for this, so I really appreciate everyone being here. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself, and we'll be here Tuesday night for the next episode of Chrononauts. And we'll have to figure out something to read for the opening act. As usual, my DMs are open on Twitter, Discord. You can also, send me there, or just leave comments on one of my YouTube videos, whatever works for you. I would definitely be happy. Remember though, the caveat is it has to be something I can read on Comixology. So either I have to own it, it has to be Comixology Unlimited, because I do have the service, or it has to be something you're willing to donate. So, be that. So, like I said, Ed Brewer has already done that. That's how he got the great Corgi story that made everyone cry. And I look forward to any recommendations you have, especially if it brings me to read something new. I like discovering new stuff. I discovered that book because of Ed. So thank you, Ed. Thank you guys for listening in, having fun and laughs and talking comics. I think tonight was a good night. We got some great Superman stuff. We had some really fun, Batman. Never goes wrong with Batman animated. And finishing it up with some fun Mark Millar and Sean Gordon Murphy. So that's it. Otherwise, I'll keep blabbing all night. So I'm just going to click the end stream button.